Hello everyone, welcome to Shareability e-learning platform. You can feel free to contact us on elearning@shareability.net, or you can box me on WhatsApp on 0708-990034. Today we're going to look at the vegetation types in Africa, and we are going to see how human activities influence the vegetation types we're going to look at, and the factors that determine the distribution of vegetation in East Africa. In this lesson, we are going to look at vegetation distribution. Vegetation distribution refers to how vegetation is distributed through various parts of the country, depending on the climate, whether rainy or sandy or dry. We look at the importance of vegetation, the effect of human activities on vegetation, the effects and outcomes man does on vegetation that either promote vegetation or destroy vegetation to plant. Remember, vegetation is the plant cover of any area, so man tends to have some activities that it performs either on land to destroy vegetation or to promote vegetation. Alright, we are going to look at man's activity that destroy vegetation and the effects of vegetation destruction in the environment. Okay. We are going to look now at the factors that influence vegetation distribution. First of all, vegetation distribution refers to how vegetation is distributed in various parts of the country, various parts of the islands, and so on. So you tend to find that some factors, like if you are going to Ginger, look at Mavila Forest, the side of the east, you tend to find that there are a lot of vegetation over that side compared to the other sides. So in other words, this one helps you to know how vegetation is distributed in various parts of the country. So there are a number of factors, namely we have climate. What's climate? Climate refers to the average weather condition of a place. Climate can be categorized into rainfall and temperature, whereby rainfall is the precipitate that falls down on earth. Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of a particular place. You can find that areas which receive adequate rainfall throughout the year and have moderate temperatures, they tend to have a bigger vegetation distribution compared to areas with low rainfall and moderate temperatures. So we look at land drainage. Land drainage refers to removing of water through the land. So some areas which have got a high drainage have got few vegetation compared to areas which are highly drained. So look at the soils now. Soils have different types. We have the loam soil, we have the sand soil, we have the clay soil. Loam soil contains humus which supports growth of grass, growth of trees. So areas with loam soil, fertile soils, have got high vegetation compared to areas with low, poor quality soils. So we look at altitude. Altitude, this is the height above sea level. Now take for instance, when you're climbing a mountain, the higher you go, the cooler it becomes, and the lower you go, the hotter it becomes. So areas which are higher, they have got a higher altitude, hence the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. So the temperatures are moderate, hence some vegetation cannot be supported to grow at moderate temperatures which are cool, which are so cold. So areas with lower altitude have got a higher vegetation distribution. So you tend to find that vegetation grows mainly on such areas compared to areas which have a higher altitude. Now human activities are activities done by people, like now the human activities, these are the activities that are performed by human beings on the land, like construction of roads, buildings, establishment of industries, and swamp reclamation. So then find that the topography refers to the general land surface. Okay, so human activities like construction results into loss of vegetation, hence free vegetation will be left on the ground. So relief, this is the appearance of land. Relief refers to the general appearance of the land surface. So then find that some areas are really rugged, yeah? Like mountainous areas are really rugged, and vegetation really cannot really grow on mountainous areas sometimes because of the gentle slopes which are characterized by gullies and cannot support growth. So sometimes you look at latitude, government policies, and so on. I think we can look on the next. We can move on to the next slide, whereby we are going to look at other factors, types of vegetation that can help us. Importance of vegetation. So the importance of vegetation. For importance of vegetation, we have one. Shanita. What is used for? She's giving me an answer that it helps in rainfall, information of rain or rainfall formation. It's habitat for wild animals. Grass, trees are habitat, they're homes for wild animals compared to human beings. Human beings, their habitats are houses. So for us, we sleep in the house, whereas trees, grass are habitats for wild animals like leopards, snakes, and so on. Look at it's a source of pasture for animals. Pasture, the former, is the same as grass or food for the animals to feed on. It's a source of building materials. Through extracting timbers from forests, we can be able to get building materials like timber, making stalls, wood, chairs, and so on. It's a source of wood fuel, like they're used for. Yes, Shanita? No. Wood fuel refers to source of, they're used as, like they're used for cooking. Okay, yeah, wood fuel. The source of herbal medicine like mululuza. Some of you, I think, you know this. Mululuza is that sour medicine which they use sometimes to heal headache and fever at times. It acts as windbreak through reducing the speed of wind. That's why I tend to find when it's so windy and you're passing in the forest, you tend to find that the trees really move like a left right, resisting the strong wind from destroying crops. So by the time the wind leaves the forest, the speed has reduced. Okay. Now vegetation controls soil erosion through which mechanisms? You tend to find that when it rains sometimes heavily and the land is bare, when the raindrops fall onto the land, they create a depression. That depression results into soil erosion, which is the washing of topsoil. But now if vegetation, the grass, covers the top surface of the land, there will be no spoliation of the soil. Okay, so in that way it helps us in controlling soil erosion. It provides raw materials for pulp and paper industries. Pulp and paper industries, these are industries which use paper which use wood to make papers. These papers you write on, they are synthesized or manufactured from papers. Okay, now it's a source of food and fruits for people. Some forests have got some wild fruits which people tend to go for, like coconuts, and they eat them and they earn a living. This helps in soil conservation. Soil conservation is the covering of topsoil and preserving moisture in the soil. Okay. We're going to look at man's activity that destroy vegetation. Right now, in this we have got industrialization. Industrialization refers to construction of very many industries on a piece of land. Urbanization is the concentration of very many people in the urban areas, and they tend to destroy the plant cover of the earth surface, which is full of vegetation, away trees, and so on. Recreation refers to creating of places for leisure, like clubs are created, and so on. So we tend to find that the vegetation cover is destroyed. Settlement, through destroying away the plant cover, the grass, the trees, to establish homes. Road construction, this is self-explanatory, I think. Road construction, whereby you can find the tractors will come and erode away, they cover the topsoil to construct a road. Charcoal burning, through destroying the forests, cutting down very, very many numbers of trees down to establish charcoal, through burning charcoal, and so on. So in that way, you tend to find that these human activities destroy vegetation and result into global warming, because vegetation helps us to preserve the environment through reducing global warming. Now if we tend to remove the earth's cover, we expose the earth to to infrared radiations, which result into global warming. Mining, grazing of land. Overgrazing results into destroying of vegetation, because the cows and the goats will come and eat off the grass rapidly. So you tend to find that the rate at which the grass has been eaten is much, so few grass is left on top surface, so leaving the land bare and is destroying vegetation. Bush burning, whereby world people with dubious activities go and they put the bush on fire to, and there is a result. This destroys the vegetation. Okay. Feel free to ask any question. In case you are lost or you have been left somewhere, you can feel free to ask any question. There's no problem. I will be able to answer you. Dangers of destruction of vegetation. What are dangers? These are outcomes when this vegetation has been destroyed, the plant cover has been destroyed. What will it result to? Andrew? Okay, Andrew is telling me that it results into soil erosion because the plant cover is lost. Clap for him. Wow, that's great. Okay, well, give me a clue. Reduction in rainfall or drought, because vegetation refers to plant cover of the earth's surface, and it's a category or categorically as forests. We have all the grass and so on. So this one help in rainfall formation through evapotranspiration, whereby the water is lost through the leaves to the atmosphere and condenses up in the nimbus clouds, then it comes back as raindrops, which results into rainfall formation. So if we destroy this vegetation, we shall reduce the amount of rain that will be received will be less, will be reduced. Hence, this can cause drought out of it. So soil exhaustion, global warming, destruction of catchment areas, destruction of animal habitat. If we destroy trees, what do you think would happen? Destruction of trees without into destroying of animals' habitats, monkeys, lions. So they tend to crowd people's houses for habitats. Soil exhaustion, global warming. This is the abnormal rise in temperature of the earth's surface as a result of cutting down of trees and destroying of grass, because the trees take in carbon dioxide as a raw material for photosynthesis. Now the carbon dioxide which has been taken in, if it accumulates in the atmosphere without being taken in as a result of few vegetation or few trees, this carbon dioxide acts as a blanket to the sun radiation. It absorbs the radiations from the sun and reflects them back on the earth's surface. Hence, global warming. Okay. Now, thank you very much for watching. So students are advised to review this exercise, review the questions and answer them. I shall be able to mark you, assess you. I'm going to mention 5 human activities that destroy vegetation according to what you have studied, outline the 7 importance of vegetation, explain 4 factors that influence vegetation distribution. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed. We love you so much. Subscribe more for upcoming lessons for all subjects, or you can feel free to email us at shabit.net or contact me at 0708990034. Check out the playlist below for the recent lessons you may have missed. Thank you very much. We love you so much.